What's up, guys? It is your boy Smurfy here with a video for the Comic Book Teens YouTube channel for today, Monday the 14th. Just wanted to say, thank you guys for y'all support. And as of late, especially hitting over 800 subscribers now. Today we're going to talk about Superman and my review on Superman. The new movie that dropped from James Gunn. Saw it this weekend, and I just have to say it's going to be pretty concise video, but I want to keep it spoiler free, as I want y'all to be able to experience everything for the first time when you go and see it in theaters again. So the comment section, please just let us know what you thought of the movie. What are you excited most about the DC universe? And I'll probably do a video for the Fantastic Four movie later this month as well. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna give the movie overall 9 out of 10. Let's just keep it up front. That movie was a fantastic movie. I'm not even a big Superman guy. I am a Batman guy primarily. I usually don't enjoy Superman as much as Batman, but I have to say, that's a good movie. It's just a good movie. I mean, you're gonna have your corny tendencies with Superman just because he is in by design kind of a corny character, but it was still a very much enjoyable movie for me. The full plot of it was fantastic. I thought they did a good job with tying everything in. Subtle hints throughout the movie. The beginning played big parts later on in the movie, which was really nice to see. So that means, when you go in to watch this movie, you definitely want to pay attention to everything, because once you pay attention to when you pay attention to the small things at the beginning of the movie, those stuff kind of just ties into the end of the movie, which is really cool. Especially overall experience for that. I thought all the castings were great. I think that Perry was fantastic, casting Lois Lane. Cat Grant was great, and then sports guy, I can't remember his name still. One day I'll remember it. He was great, from the SNL dude. Of course, Jimmy Olsen was fantastic. Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, peak. Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner are probably the two best characters in that movie, in my opinion. Even though Superman was also just as fantastic, don't get me wrong, and Lex Luthor also, but there's just the fact that they did so well with such little lines from Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner. They still got really good screen time, but they were able to show you who these characters are with such little screen time in it. Lex Luthor was fantastic, by the way. Don't get me wrong, I love Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific the most, just because I like those characters a lot. But the fact that Lex Luthor is probably one of the best comic book villains we've seen in live action adaptation for. The way they portrayed how much this character actually hates Superman and the lengths that he would go was just a fantastic portrayal of him, and the actor did a great job. I remember him from the X-Men series, which was very disappointing overall, but he was always still a good actor in those as the Beast. But I think in this movie, he really hit his stride, just showing the hate he has for Superman, and they did a great job just showing that throughout the plot. That everything that Lex Luthor does at this point in time is just driven by his Superman hate. Even the engineer was really cool. Ultraman was super sick. Metamorpho was one of my favorite. I think he's a great design character for Metamorpho. The only thing is he's a little zesty, a little what's it called? A little kind of, I want to say not say childish, but more so kind of wholesome. It was just can sometimes rub people the wrong way, which I think I saw some stuff online about that. But that's just kind of his character. So if you're not a fan of it, I get it. But that's just kind of who he is, and that's what Gunn has done a good job of with all these characters. They are their exact comic book adaptation. There's nothing really different from any of them from those. So he did a great job with that. And then I would say overall, from the plot perspective, it was really good. It felt like the movie was everything was purposeful for each part of the plot, or that then encompasses it everything together. The action was also very much amazing. They did a great job with a lot of the fight choreography, especially with the fight in the baseball stadium. That was a really great fight to watch, and super creative with how the resolution came from that. And then you had even Crypto has enjoyable moments as well. Of course, if you're not a dog person, maybe you may not like it as much, just because maybe you don't understand sometimes when you have a dog that just doesn't know how to act. But I think they did a great job with that in its own right too. Obviously, if you're not a big dog person, some people aren't big fans of it. But I being a dog person, I loved it. I thought it was a little like out of just comedic purpose here and there, just to help, and also potential plot mover also, honestly, in some cases. I think the one thing also that James Gunn did a good job of that I hope people go into note, and hopefully this does become fruition, is he planted a lot of seeds of future movies, shows, / plot points for this overarching story, because there's a lot of stuff they hint towards from stuff I saw from the animated shows, from the comic books, all that. So I'm hoping that those all lead to essentially what I hope that it leads to in like stuff from like the animated show, which I love growing up, especially towards the end of the movie. You'll kind of see that potentially with Hot Girl. If you know, I'm not going to spoil it. And with Ultraman as well. Again, if you know. So I'm hoping that those come to fruition, because those are also great storylines that I'm very familiar with and I love. So hopefully we do see those in later projects. I am excited for the Lantern show, especially with how Nathan Fillion played Guy Gardner. He was fantastic. It's just fantastic. Just a hateful character, just a hateable character that he did such a good job portraying. I think that was one of my favorite parts of the movie, was just kind of his quips and his scenes where he's wanting to be this dude as the center of attention, but then he ultimately just doesn't ever seem to get it together, because there's always something that goes on when he's trying to do that. And even at the end, towards the end of the movie, he has a really fun scene when he comes to help out Superman. So I think that was really great overall. It didn't feel too too forced, kind of like with Marvel sometimes where they force a lot of the jokes, a lot of quips. I didn't feel that with this movie at all, which is great, because it's one of my biggest issues with Marvel movies is well, at least, I know there's more. Maybe they'll fix it for these future movies, but a lot of them, they kind of went to the same formulaic, quippy, comedic humor for all their characters. So they kind of ruined it for me for a lot of movies. But, hopefully this is something that we can kind of build on and have a really good DC universe, because this was a great hit. It makes me even look forward to even more of James Gunn's projects, because I am a big fan of his. I don't think he's ever done a bad job on a comic book movie, because he just understands the source material. So I'm really excited for what he has to offer for these future movies and shows. So I also love Creature Commandos, by the way. So if you haven't seen Creature Commandos or Suicide Squad, I would definitely recommend watching those as well. And let me get in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all thought of the movie. When are you guys plan to go see the movie? What project are you most excited for? I think currently mine is probably going to be the Teen Titans. I think it's a show or movie. I can't remember which one it is. I think that's why I'm most excited, just because I know I know those characters very well, and I love those characters and a lot of their storylines. So I'd be curious to see if they do what Robin they'll do as well. I think it's going to be Damian Wayne, which is great. I love that. But that's my pick there. And I'm curious to see what they do with Brave and the Bold Batman, and how that will gel with the Superman they've presented to us in this movie, because this will be the DCU. I think they're keeping the Batman separate. They might merge it with some hints with the soundtrack usage of a similar soundtrack they used from the Batman movie, but I think they're going to keep them separate overall. So I'll be curious to see what they do with the Batman for the DCU versus the Batman, and how they'll work with Superman. And because Gunn has already said that he doesn't want Batman to be this version of Superman, basically, where it's super corny and kind of very wholesome, I guess. I don't know, but that will be kind of ultimately if this can show, if that interaction can work, that will determine how the DCU kind of finishes off and how it does, because those two are the big movers for the franchise, and those need to hit. Again, thank you all for the support. I'll be making another video for the Fantastic Four, more than likely, and I'll probably have another video out for you guys tomorrow regarding maybe some future predictions on Static Shock or the Milestone Media stuff, because of the Ryan Coogler news. So, see y'all later.